Absolutely, Narushi. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now we move on to, let me briefly introduce our chief guest of the inaugural session, Mr. Venkatesh Mahadevan. Mr. Venkatesh Mahadevan has an extensive and progressive work experience in leadership positions with top Fortune 100 companies such as Motorola, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble. He has led digital transformation programs at global corporations and has been a part of the transformation leadership team. During his professional career across several industries, including FMCG, telecom, and retail, he has held several leadership positions and has been a member of the executive committee serving on leadership boards. Prior to joining Dubai Investments, he was in a technology leadership position at Motorola, where he was instrumental in implementing key strategy technology initiatives across the APAC region and a key member of the Global Supplier Management Leadership Team. He's an MBA and a research scholar. He is the recipient of CXO 50 and several CIO leadership awards. He is also a recipient of the Peter Drucker Award for outstanding achievements in the field of management. He is an accomplished energy and peak performance speaker and a premier skills coach. In addition to holding several prestigious certifications from accomplished international organizations, he is also a mentor at the Columbia University, New York Center for Technology and Management. He is an internationally qualified counselor and a distinguished guest faculty at leading management institutions. Venkatesh has his own podcast called ZenPod, where he features trailblazers from different talks of life with a purpose to build an empowered ecosystem. He also anchors an online show, Titan Talks, which is hosted on global tech forums. I can go on and on about his remarkable achievements. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to have you here with us, sir, today. So all of us are really, really eager to listen from you. So I would request you for your address, please. Over to you, Mr. Venkatesh.
Thank you very much, Shrikaji. Thank you very much. And good morning to all of you. So can all of you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I'm audible. Awesome. So it doesn't matter if you can't see me, but hearing is more important. As a practice, generally, I like speaking face to face, and obviously, because I look scarier in person than virtually, Shika and Yachna decided to have me online and not face to face. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to speaking to all of you. Lovely introduction, and I think I should have recorded it so that I can play it somewhere else as well. We, Amit spoke very beautifully about the gig economy and gave some great examples. And it was followed by another great talk on, how there are a lot of ideas coming and probably lying on Naresh's table. And when he dives a little deeper, he realizes that they're actually just apps and not ideas. So wonderful place. I am going to, so there are two disruptions that have happened to me this morning. In a lighter vein, one of them is because I saw my name as a chief guest, I thought I will be the first speaker. So Shika was obviously not very excited about that, and she pushed me to number 3. So that is a disruption. And I said, what do I do now? I was all set. My makeup was ready to go. I was combed my hair nicely, and I said, I'm going to be the first speaker. So let's talk. And then I was pushed, and I thought, okay, doesn't matter. I'll be number 2. And then that didn't happen too. And then now I'm number 3. So so that's a disruption. Now, this is what is happening to us as we speak. The country where I live, the U.A.E, I live in Dubai, as she told you, we had Friday as a holiday for God knows how many years. About a month or 2 back, I think the government, the leadership here decided to change the weekend from a Friday to actually a Saturday, Sunday to coincide with the rest of the world. Trust me, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, this is a massive disruption that has happened as we speak. People have quickly adjusted themselves. They've started going to work is happening, everybody is delivering, and all of that is happening. The last 2 years have been tough for all of us. COVID has been cruel in some cases, not very kind in some cases, indifferent in a lot of cases, but has forced us to take a step back, rethink, put your heads down and look at what you really want to do. And a large part of the gig economy has been fueled massively by the onset of COVID 2 years back. Bajpayee ji spoke very nicely this morning about what the gig economy means and how things have changed, very relevant. Today, it's not about getting into a job, going to work 9 to 5, coming back and saying, okay, let me get my paycheck. Today, there are entrepreneurs, people such as Amit themselves, who have been courageous enough to ask questions, stand up and make a dent in the universe, if I may, or in the Indian universe, and said, let's launch a product or a service that the country needs. So where does that take us from now? Charles Darwin said something very beautifully centuries ago, and I still quote that. And I still believe people don't read the whole sentence. And he said, it's not the strongest or the most intelligent that will survive. He said, it's the most adaptable. And for some reason, people tend to forget that. So for me, adaptability is a key ingredient or the most essential skill. And if you do not have adaptability, you are going to struggle. If you look up the internet and find out what is resilience, resilience tells you the ability of a person, an organization, somebody to bounce back from troubles or difficulties quickly. The last 2 years have been tough on us. Some of us probably have lost our near and dear ones, whether they be friends or kith and kin. Some of us have lost a lot of money in businesses. Some of us have lost our jobs. A lot of us have had to take pay cuts. A lot of us have had to struggle with difficulties or realities that we never thought would happen in our lifetime. I can promise you that if I ask all of you MBA students, or if I ask the 300 of you who have logged in, did you ever foresee or did you ever think something like a COVID would happen in a lifetime? And the answer would be absolutely not. It has forced us to rethink, recalibrate, turn around on our feet and say, what can we do to survive going forward? What does the future look like for me? The last slide of Amit, which spoke about different industry sectors in terms of healthcare and IT and hospitality and education and oil and gas, and all of that is going to change, has changed, and is being disrupted as we speak. You as a generation, all of you MBA students, you as a generation really need to build resilience. I wish I was younger. I wish I was a batch listening to this conversation. You need to be able to turn around on your feet and say, I will make the difference. There are a few skills that I use in my day-to-day life, I use in my corporate career that have helped me, and I'm going to share them with you. Choose and pick what you like. The first for me, are you willing to engage? Are you willing to talk? Are you willing to engage? Are you willing to stand up and speak? Are you willing to collaborate? What does collaboration mean? Are you willing to work with people? Gone are the days when you said, I will do everything in my bedroom, in my living room. I will work on my idea myself and bring it to the world. Please talk to people. Please collaborate with people who can help you bring this to the fore. Think about Airbnb. Airbnb does not own any property at all. Ola does not own any cars at all. Uber does not. OLX, similar model. Think about all of these large companies, and they don't own anything. They don't own brick and mortar. They are living in a virtual world, and we are all enjoying their services. So are you willing to collaborate? Are you willing to connect? Very, very important. Are you willing to connect? Do you connect with your colleagues? Do you connect with your friends? I don't know if classes are happening for you on campus. If they are, then connection is probably easier. But if they are not, what are you doing to stay connected with your friend? Girlfriends and boyfriends, we figure out a way to stay connected. But what about the guy or the girl who used to sit 3 benches away from you? What about the person who used to bump into you in the corridor? What about the professor who used to take pains to prepare notes and come and talk to you? What about the dean or the principal or the faculty members who walk past you and ask you very relevant questions? How do you stay connected with them? Do you pick up the phone and talk to them? Do you engage with them in a WhatsApp message? Do you write a mail to them? Do you figure out what's happening in their life? Or are you busy with your own cocoon? Very, very important to connect. Do you have the courage to stand up and ask questions? Do you have the courage to do what it takes to survive in the gig economy? Do you have the courage to be resilient? Everybody has problems. Everybody has adversities. What makes you different is how soon did you bounce back from that adversity? How soon did you bounce back from the difficulty? How soon did you bounce back from the troubles that you've been facing? Everybody has been facing. Are you willing to be courageous? It's the courageous who build enterprises. It is the courageous who are entrepreneurs. It is the courageous who have gone on to hold leadership positions in organizations. It is the courageous who have gone on to become faculties. It's the courageous who lead institutions into the future. I'm sure I.T.S as an institution has reinvented, re-engineered themselves a lot in the last 2 years to stay relevant. This seminar is probably just one example, but clearly they have done a lot internally to stay themselves current. Otherwise, why should today people are not willing to come to college and listen to the principles of communication? They are not willing to listen to the 5 P's of marketing which changed long back. They are not willing to come and learn C programming. They want to listen what can they do to stay alive, to stay afloat, to build an enterprise that can employ 5, 10, 50, 100 people, that can make a difference, that can empower the ecosystem. Are you curious? Are you curious to lift the curtain and see what's happening? Are you curious to know what the future holds in store for you? Are you curious to find out more? Are you curious to stand up and say, I want to know what is it that I can do? Are you curious? Are you curious? Are you curious? Is something you need to ask yourself every day. As kids, we are very curious. We have kids asking a lot of questions, and we tell our kids, don't ask so many questions. I grew up in an era where teachers would tell us not to ask too many questions and would say, sit down, please listen to what I'm talking. Today, Shika ma'am, Yachna ma'am, Bajpai sir, all of them probably encourage questioning in the class, probably encourage you to challenge them and ask or say, ma'am, but what you're saying is not true. I read something in the internet. You know why? Because you have the world at your fingertips. Are you using the world that is in the palm of your hand for your benefit? Or do you still come to college not knowing what hit you and then sit through your lectures and go back home and then mug up and by heart everything and then clear examination? I promise you, you might get a job, but you won't get a career. I promise you, you will not build an enterprise. You can have an MBA degree that you can put up on your wall and feel very nice about. I promise you that that is reality today. Are you a great listener? I don't know how many of you are listening to me today. I would love to see all your faces. Out of 319 or 320, I'm sure if I have 20, I would be very honored. I would love to see all your faces. Are you a good listener? I saw some very exciting chats being exchanged with Naresh and Amit. Very good. Are you being an attentive listener? Are you willing? And when I say listening, I'm not saying hearing. We all hear. We hear a lot of noise. We hear a lot of things going on. Are you listening? Are you embracing? Are you engulfing? Are you digesting what your speakers, your teacher, your faculty says? If you are able to do even 10% of what some of them speak or some of us speak, I think you've done your job. Very, very important, because listen, think about it. The problem with virtual world, you can put off your camera, you can put yourself on mute and play games. You can walk to the next room, and in a session like this, nobody's going to ask you, Naresh, are you present? Saurav, are you present? Bajpai, are you present? Shika, are you there? Sorry, nobody's going to ask you that.
Sir.
Yeah, I know you're there, Saurav. I can see you.
Present.
Are you there? The question is, yes, I am there. I am listening. Because if you don't, it is not your loss. It is not your loss. It's your future that you are giving away. You are saying, I am not willing to listen. I do not think this is worth my time. Hey, you wasted your time. Trust me, because when this whole thing is over and when the curtains come down, you have to get up and go away from the auditorium. And then what are you going to do when you walk out on the road? Are you ready to meet the oncoming traffic? Or are you going to stop at a red light and wait for it to turn green? question you need to ask yourself. Ask a lot of questions. Ask questions that will fuel your curiosity, will give you the answers that you're looking for. Don't stop till you get answers to those questions. Chalta hai is no longer okay. There is a lot happening in India as we speak. Gig economy has just changed everything so much. People are saying, I don't think I want a 9-to-5 job. I think I'm going to work 4 hours, offer my expertise to I.T.S management, and tell them I'm willing to teach the students for 2 hours. I'm going to take this program on digital transformation, and I want to be engaged 4 hours a week. Do you guys want me? Do you need me? Do you require my services? And Mr. Bajpayee may ask me, okay, Venki, what are you going to do the rest 6 hours? And I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm probably going to sit and read a book. I'm probably going to upgrade my skills. I'm probably going to go for a walk in the garden. I'm probably going to play golf. But 2 hours a day is all that I'm going to work, or I'm going to offer my services to keep myself engaged. And it's not a crime. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do that because you are defining your law. You know, the previous speaker spoke a lot about technology. We live in a technology world. A few years back, and I am like a dinosaur who has survived the age. We have seen people live in a digital world. Parents, people who are abroad, parents, your grandparents are now on Skype, WhatsApp calling, video calling, Zoom and Teams, and they speak to you every day. Isn't that a marvelous thing? I remember my mother-in-law telling me many years back, and she, when we started using the Skype, and she said, oh my God, she said, this is magic. And think about it, she's 60 years old or 70 years old. And when she sees her family, who's actually thousands of miles away, and she's able to speak and converse like she can face to face, it is magic. Technology is magic. The point is, what do you want to do? Do you want to use magic to pull out a rabbit from the hat? Or do you want to use magic to change the way your organization can deliver goods and services? Amazon does it day in and day out as we speak, because as customers, we are saying, I want that product delivered to be on time. I am not willing to wait 15 minutes more. You are not willing to wait or refresh your screen. When you press the enter, you want the website to open up. You are not willing to listen to an error message. You want that cleared immediately. So we're living in a digital world. The key for entrepreneurs, the key for leaders, the key for people like you is, how do you turn the digital chaos into customer common sense? For me, that's key. You can keep saying you are on the latest technology, you are doing state-of-the-art stuff, you press a button and your clothes change and your hair becomes white. You can do all that. But can the customer understand you? Are you using the skills or the tool you have to make it common sense? Nobody is interested in a black box. That was 10 years back. Today, people want to understand what is happening. Do I understand? Can I decipher it? This is not Wordle. This is not Sudoku. This is not a Rubik Cube. You need to be able to use technology to enable people, to empower the community. On my podcast, ZenPod, and please go and look it up when you have the time. It's on all podcast platforms. I actually speak to people from different walks of life who have, despite facing troubles and difficulties, probably bounced back better than anybody else. And the topic of my podcast is really about leadership and spirituality, but it's about people who have left hometowns, gone to South Africa and teach the poor kids there who walk 5 kilometers to come to school. It is about a lady who decided that I do not want children to spend a lot of, women to spend a lot of time cooking. So she invented a product that is the future featured in Time magazine. It is about somebody who is blind, who turns blind at 40, starts running at 48, and today has run 210 marathons, 130, the only man in the world to do 110 half marathons, the only man in the world to do a bungee jump. These are real people. 26-year-old boy who actually climbs Mount Everest and gets hit by COVID and is stuck on the mountains for 2 weeks because he's down with COVID, recovers from it, climbs Mount Everest and comes down. If this is not an example of resilience, I don't know what is. You wake up in the morning, You are late for your college. That is not resilience. You forgot your mobile phone at home. How do you manage the day? Is not resilience. Oh, shucks, I forgot to take my wallet. How do I manage? Let me, like they say in Hindi, patao the conductor and manage without paying. Not resilience. Sorry. Resilience is much more tougher, much more scarier. How do you bounce back from it? I saw a very beautiful cover page in the HBR, the Harvard Business Review, sometime back, very recently actually. It says, navigating uncertainty and embracing agility is key. You need to be able to embrace agility. You need to be able to move fast, and you need to navigate through uncertainty. The question, boys and girls, the question, ladies and gentlemen, the question, my dear people, is, are you ready to change? If you are not ready to change, go back to the drawing board, readmit yourself in school, back to college, back to Shika ma'am's class, back to Bajpai sir's class, back to Yachna ma'am's class, and say, please teach me. I want to listen. As much as students are curious about learning, I promise you, the faculty, the teachers, the dean, the principal are as, if not more curious to teach you people, to share their knowledge with you. Please be ready to change, because if you are not ready to change, nobody in this big damn goddamn world can help you. Upar wala cannot do anything. He cannot do anything. I promise you, you have to do it yourself. You need to have a learning mindset while under pressure. And resilience really is about getting up as quickly as you can. Experiment. And I'm going to leave you with these last thoughts. Experiment. Explore your possibilities. Be prepared to face acceptance. We are all very nice. I love Shika ma'am's introduction of me. But Shika ma'am turns around and says, Venki, I think you need to go for a beard trim. I don't like it because that's not something I wanted. Be prepared to face rejection. Be prepared to face acceptance. Iterate your model as you go along. Businesses, Airbnb did it, Netflix done it. Everybody, if you look up Airbnb, look at what Netflix did and how they started, you will be surprised. There are enough stories on the internet, so I'm not going to tell you, but iterate your business model as you go along. Sketch it out. Use the whiteboard, use the white paper, use your, your wall, use your deck, use your mobile, use your stylus, use your tools to iterate, to sketch. Build models that you think will work in the current scheme of things. While we always say this in corporate life, have big, hairy, audacious goals. It's called the BHAG. Good, but start with something very small and start building on it. You don't have to do something big every time. If you can identify a small opportunity and if you can fix it, do it, because you are the next Einstein. You are the next Newton. You are the next Amit Kumar. You are the next Bajpai ji. You are the next whoever it is who has made a difference to people's life. On that note, I leave you all with best wishes. I want to thank the faculty and the dean for inviting me. I want to wish all of you my heartiest congratulations for doing what you're doing. Like I said, I'm envious that you are all so young and I'm not. Can't help it. But you are living in a world of immense possibilities. Make the most of it. Enjoy your life. Do not forget to laugh, smile, hug your friends.